My name is Mark Crumey. I'm head of marketing for Eibach North America. Eibach is a performance suspension manufacturer, and we are here today to talk about the BMW 2002. What's special about this BMW 2002 is it actually gets raced. He's a Team Eibach driver, and it pays homage to the original DTM E30 M3 race car, which also happened to be equipped with the Eibach ERS race springs. So it was a perfect fit for this collaboration.
Hot Wheels basic car is the #1 selling toy in the world. Hot Wheels is huge. We're sold everywhere. We sold 500 million cars last year alone, over 7 billion to date. So that's pretty much a car for every person on the planet. You know, it's pretty impressive stats. And so it's just really great for us to team up with Eibach and bring that mass exposure to the brand.
I'm Ryle Barnett. I'm a vintage racer under Vintage BMW Racing Race Shop in Long Beach. I've been a fan of cars my entire life. As a kid, the car I dreamed about, there were a couple cars, the Datsun 510, the 2002, the Alfa GTV, but the 2002 I thought was just the coolest car on the road as a kid.
We build vintage BMW 2002 race cars for vintage racing. So I build the race cars generally from scratch, build the engines. I take the cars, generally the customers take their own car to the track, and then I support them at the track. Any tire changes that need to be done, if a transmission goes, we change that. When that's all finished, if there's enough time, I jump into my suit and I race against them.
We race under a couple different vintage racing organizations. VARA, the Vintage Auto Racing Organization out of Southern California. SVRA, Sports Car Vintage Racing Association, they're more national, or they are a national racing organization. And then we started racing with CSRG up in Northern California. And last year, under SVRA's National Championship in the B Sedan Light, we took second.
Ryle is a particular fellow, so he was very careful to select components that he liked, a livery that he liked.
And then next thing you know, it's 9 months later, and we haven't looked back since.
I'm Steve Vandervate. I'm the lead graphic designer for Hot Wheels Premium, Premium Retail and Redline Club HotWheelsCollector.com product. I do the art direction and graphic design for, this is in car culture, door slammers segment, and I work with Jimmy in marketing and Mark in product design. And we come up with the properties that we're going to use in the castings, and we match them up with the proper brands and sponsors, and I do the liveries for them. You know, this is the 2002 it's a classic car, just in street life, but then racing it's next levels. The partnership with Eibach has been going on for several years, and it's always been great. They're a great brand. Their trademarks always look good on our product, and I think we do well for each other.
So designing a Hot Wheels die-cast car is basically a 12 to 18 month process. We'll start with a series of sketches. Some of the sketches you see behind me, like that type, we'll create a concept, come up with an idea. Once we hone in on the exact direction, then we'll go into sculpting.
After the designers come up with the idea of a car, so for example this BMW 2002, they come to me and say, hey, we need this car sculpted, so I will begin to look for images, or they will provide me with images, and I start sculpting from images. And sometimes, if we're lucky, we get files from the manufacturer and I can modify from there. Otherwise, we're probably looking at something done from scratch, which usually takes about 40 hours, 30 to 40 hours to do something from scratch. We are the largest company that uses this program called Freeform in the world, and this machine that I use is actually developed by people to train doctors how to do surgery. The precision is very important in surgery, and is also very important when we do our Hot Wheels cars.
From there, once we approve that, then we'll create a fully parted out model that's more representative of the final product. We're separating out all the parts, determining what material each part's going to be. We're bulking things up where necessary for durability and all that, making sure we're addressing any safety issues. Once that's approved, we'll approve it to cut steel, and then we receive a first shot. So this is a first shot. It's at this point we're not looking at the color scheme or anything like that. We're just looking at the tool itself, making sure that everything is representative of what we had approved at the earlier stages. And then from there, once we get buy-off on that, we create an FEP sample. And this is the first time that we're seeing the car in the decoration that it's going to be. And we're proving there the colors, making sure the colors are spot on, making sure the application of the colors is correct. And then from there we go into a production pilot, which is the product and package exactly the way you're going to see it on shelf. One of the big challenges of the job really is we've got this really cool car design and we want to retain the integrity of that design, but we still want it to have a certain level of performance or do certain things. And so retaining that design without compromising too much to get it to do what we need it to do is key.
The importance of car culture and as a line and as a lifestyle tied into the product and the brand Hot Wheels, the brands we work with, all of our partners. It all works as a common thread throughout the entire car scene. I don't think that there's anybody that's into cars in real life that's not into Hot Wheels at least somewhat. I mean, that's where they started when they were kids. That's where they went when they were teenagers. They come back to Hot Wheels when they're out there living the life. This reminds them of where they started and where they want to go. It's aspirational, it's sentimental, it's everything.